Oscar-nominated Argentinian film is a perfect mix of vengeance, conflicts, and black humor. Damian Szifron's clever direction and excellent storytelling reflects on society and basic morality. Watching people getting out of control is satisfying so much that you will rewatch it again and again and still be amazed by the ending. Hauntingly thought-provoking and exceptional performance of all the cast, among which Romina's character is the most captivating. Now let's deep dive into movie to understand the theme and message delivered through it. But before I start, I need to give you a spoiler alert. If you desire to experience movie by yourself, chill, watch it and come back later. I'll be waiting. And others who wish to continue the video, thank you so much guys. I hope you all enjoy and share your thoughts on the movie. Okay, back to the show. Six stories with their own fabulous plot twist. Not only smart entertainment space but also sheds light on human nature. At the beginning of Pasternak's story, when young model is putting up her luggage, we watch her awkwardly shocked to see a man. They don't nod or smile. But later on towards the ending, we realize that he is actually Gabriel's best friend. And this is when we get the full picture of what's going on. When she discloses that she cheated on Gabriel, we could see him slowly raising his hand. That suggests it's been a many years for this thing. Also making us realize all the people gathered in the plane has surely done wrong to him throughout his life. An ex-girlfriend, music critic, professor, a bully, psychiatrist, boss, and a girl who refused to go out with him all are going to pay for what they did to him. No doubt you will feel sorry for him. Everyone in the plane took him for granted, right? Be it his ex or his only best friend whom he trusted. A music critic who destroyed his career, his elementary school teacher, a bully, a manager, and of course his parents. This all gives us a brief idea of how difficult it was for Gabriel from the start. Later he had a psychiatrist who raised his fees which he wasn't able to afford. But somehow he stayed positive and may have decided to move on. He asked a girl out who is also his friend and she also refused to. And this all made it worse for Gabriel. You instantly will relate to the story. Whether it was right or wrong thing that Gabriel is about to do is actually hard to say. You start to think about poor Gabriel who got treated like doormat everywhere. Perhaps a little understanding and kindness was enough to restore him. Remember the pictures of wild animals in the intro and magazine? It hints over the theme of the whole movie, which I will talk about later. But let's say in Pasternak's story, Gabriel was able to hunt down all those people who troubled him and is about to kill them all at once. In earlier story, Gabriel yearned for a good life, but people he had in his life made it difficult for him. Similarly, this young waitress have a perfect opportunity to take revenge. So one rainy night, a man enters into an empty restaurant. The young waitress quickly recognizes him. It seems that this man is a loan shark, because of whom her father did suicide. An elderly woman who is a cook suggests her to put rat poison in his food. All she wants to do is to insult him, not to murder him, but the cook still puts the rat poison in the food. Just then, a boy enters the restaurant, who happens to be his son, and starts to eat from his father's plate. She tries to stop him, but soon boy starts to vomit. Before she could handle the situation, the cook kills the man with knife. Later we could see boy sitting with waitress getting medical help while the elderly cook is taken to the prison. This story talks a lot about humanity and revenge. The waitress lost her father and her house because of this gangster, and all she wants to do is to insult him. Her elderly cook is disgusted by this. She tries to manipulate her to kill him. When the son of this gangster starts to ache, the waitress panics. She doesn't want that poor boy to die. But the elderly cook sees this differently. She even says that this is a good work that they are doing. wiping out bad people from the earth. But Waitress tries to stop this. We also get to know that the elderly cook she used to be in prison. It is clear that she just wanted to kill somebody. Waitress's revenge was only an excuse to vent out all her frustration. Road to Hell is suited to be among all the classic road rages movies ever made. This Audi driver surely is proud of his all achievement in life and doesn't step back to shame less fortunate ones. But when he has a flat tire, he realizes he is far, far from the city and more in the trouble. He could hear the slow pickup truck approaching towards him. He feels helpless and afraid. There's a huge role of ego that plays out this story. Once confident in his luxurious car is now afraid of the bad country driver. On the other side, country driver have an opportunity to insult him back. And audience knows it. It won't be just verbal insult, but things are going to be lot worse. Later, he's able to run his car away from him, but his ego ignites. He must prove to him that he is not coward. He turns back his car, and there's a huge man-to-man fight which leads to their death. Bombita. A demolition expert's car gets towed. So he goes to tow car lot and explains to employee that the curb wasn't painted yellow. But they refuse to accept their fault. The next day when he goes to Department of Motor Vehicle, he tells employee to apologize on the behalf of the city government and also that they should give him back the towing fees. In frustration, he attacks the glass partition and gets arrested. This makes headline and his company fires him. His wife seeks a divorce and sole custody of their daughter. Determined to make the government to hear him out, he gets his car back and places explosives inside it. And just like he planned, his car is towed again and the explosion makes an impact with 0 injuries. He is arrested and becomes the city hero overnight, earning the nickname Bombita, that is, Little Bomb. Bombita not only sets an example of a common man who is tired of getting robbed by the unjustified law and society, but also speaks about the ability of one person to bring change in corrupt system. The Proposal is a story where wealthy family is trying to protect their son Santiago from going to prison for hit and run crime. Santiago, who takes his father's car to bar, returns to home in dawn. He goes straight to his father and tells him that he killed a woman in a car accident. In the morning, the father calls his lawyer to handle the situation. Soon it's everywhere on TV news that a pregnant woman was killed by a car accident. Both the mother and the unborn child passed away in the ambulance heading to the hospital. The dead woman's husband swears vengeance on the local TV news. Santiago's father, along with his lawyer, asks Gardner to take the blame and promise him $500,000. After that, the prosecutor arrives and starts with the investigation. He asks the Gardner to sit in the car and asks if he uses the rearview mirror when he drives. He catches him lying, of course. The lawyer starts to negotiate with prosecutor for $1 million. While this is going on, Gardner comes in and demands for an apartment. So now they all sit up to have a final plan. When prosecutor asks for operational expense, listening to all of it, Santiago's father gets annoyed and disagrees to pay any more amount. His wife talked to them and come up with a deal of total $1 million. The gardener is taken out as a killer where the police car, press and people were waiting. The husband of a dead woman comes out from the crowd and kills the gardener, ending the story. The Proposal shows the value for money in both rich and poor's world. On one side, where poor gardener is ready to take the blame for money, on the other side, at a certain point, even the wealthiest person couldn't afford to pay to save his son. The lawyer, prosecutor and gardener take it as an opportunity and their demands increase one by one. Santiago's father soon realizes this and gets frustrated. No one seems to understand how brutal crime was. Santiago is crying for sure, but it is more about realizing that he will be going to prison. He hugs the gardener for helping him out. But he soon realizes that justice should be made and he is ready to confess. In the fear that Santiago will really confess and his father being annoyed, the lawyer, prosecutor, and gardener who were greedy before change their demand before Santiago changes his mind. Till Death Do Us Part is the sixth and the last story of the Wild Tales. It is the wedding party of Romina and Ariel. Both looks extremely happy and into each other. As they interact with guests, Romina watches her husband talking to a lady she doesn't know about. The bride Romina comes to know about that her newlywed husband has been cheating on her. She runs off on the roof where a cook tries to distract her but she kisses him. Ariel, her husband, comes up and he sees his wife in arms of cook. The cook runs away after watching him in fear. She openly announces to him that she will sleep with every man who is interested in her and take all his worth if he thought of divorce. They return down to the wedding party. Romina asks the girl who had an affair with Ariel to join her and slams her into mirror. Watching this, Ariel breaks down and cries. Romina tells the photographer to take the photos so that she could show it off to her future husband. Ariel's mother freaks out and attacks Romina, who is pulled back by her husband and Romina's father. Romina finally stops and sits still as all of her emotion cools off. Ariel asks her for a dance and they end up having sex by the cake and guest starts to leave. When we hear out the bride that she will be sleeping with any man, it's not what she meant from heart. She said it because she thought her boyfriend was always loyal to him. But now, here on her wedding day, she finds out that he cheated on him. Many don't realize how many questions may have hit her at once. Was he cheating on her throughout the relationship? Who knows? She can't trust him anymore. Her own wedding party becomes the revenge party. Also, this story hints upon ups and downs of the relationships. When Ariel collapses down and starts to cry, he realizes that because of his mistake, he will lose his true love, that is Romina. He could finally understand how Romina felt of him cheating on her when he saw his wife kissing the cook. He wants his Romina back, so he extends his hand asking her for dance, that is apologizing and promising her to be a good husband. Beside human being funny and unbelievable sometimes, they behave like wild animals in anger, crossing the boundary of civilization. When we think of modern human, he is more intelligent and knows how to behave. They will talk about manners, they will talk about saving things from water to global warming. They will always use whatever is trending and whatnot. It also speaks about our daily frustration and how we learn to repress ourselves. But one day it just gets exploded without our knowledge. Even we could argue about the pleasure that we experience when we realize that the other person in front of us is afraid of us. That pleasure is brutal, but it is what it is. Feeling of power upon someone is addictive. In Pasternak, the photos of wild animals and also in the intro hints over the animalistic features of the human being. That was the movie analysis of Wild Tales. If you really like the video, please subscribe the channel and do share your views on movie in the comment section. Till then, take care. See you guys in the next video.